and welcome to the 2020 AEE Chapter Leadership Meeting. Needless to say, this is the first time we've failed to do this in person, so I certainly miss not having everybody in the same room and having a chance to roam around and chat with everybody. But we're glad you're here, and of course, next year we expect everybody to be in New Orleans, and God willing, we'll be past this COVID mess and we'll be back to normal. I'd like to get started by introducing somebody who really doesn't need an introduction, of course, our Executive Director, Bill Kent. Mr. Kent.
Thank you, Tim. It's certainly great to see everyone. Gosh, we miss seeing each other in person, but it's good to see your faces from around the world. Please send messages through the chat. We'll be monitoring this. It's recorded. And once we get into our forum later, then we'll be doing questions through the chat as well. So thanks again for everyone for joining us this morning. I see many of our faces, friends all around the world. Really, I wanted to give just a couple of updates. The meeting is going to be a little bit different this year, aside from the fact that we're virtual. But I'm going to give an update on just a few things at AEE, a few thank yous, and then we'll turn it right over to get into the meat of the meeting today. So Michelle, if you'll get us into it. So first thing is just a couple of updates on the AEE staff. So I'm coming to you from Atlanta, from our headquarters. Staff updates for 2020. Ruth Whitlock, over 35 years with AEE. Ruth retired back in February, and we're still in constant communication with Ruth. She's doing well, she and George. Michelle Whitlock, who has been with AEE 12, 15 years, no relation to Ruth, has taken over. Michelle has been in various positions. She's taken over as our executive administrator. She'll introduce herself later when she goes over some chapter activities. We've also added Addie Dutton on the left as our online training administrator. I think probably good timing there with all of our training being done online and virtual. And Addie has had a big year in addition to joining AEE. Addie got married this year and also has had a baby. You'll see her picture there, baby Madison, so congratulations. We also want to welcome Shannon Bridges, who is our membership director, who replaced Patricia Ardovan, who retired after, 20 years with AEE. Is that right, Helen? Many years. So welcome to the newest members of the AEE staff. You know, it takes really a huge group of people beyond our staff here. And so I want to send a thanks not only to all of you for all you do and all you do for AEE in the industry, but recognizing just a couple of groups that really have invested a lot, given a lot, and meant a lot to AEE and our success over this year. First is our board of directors. Our board, myself, Samara, who's our current president this year, Buster, Lori, Tim, Ian, Rusty, and Fatu. So thanks to the board, we've had lots of meetings, committees, strategic discussions this year, and the board has been just invaluable in helping set the direction and give input in the direction of running AEE. So thank you to the AEE board of directors. Several of you are here on the call today. So, in addition to our board, we've really got two other groups that are very key and significant to all we do. First, kind of our global leaders. Larry, our Director of International Member Development, Samara, who is president, also an international leader, and then all of our ADMDs, Assistant Directors for International Member Development, Elaine, who heads up our student chapters internationally, and Fure, who does international awards. So thanks to all of our global leaders for all that you do and continue to do. And in addition, within the US, we've got our regional vice presidents and then some other special leaders and advisors, Eric Oliver, Stephen Russo, Robert Arrow, John Lord, and Bob Starling. I think I saw Bob earlier. So thanks to you for all that you do. So it really does take quite a large group to keep us going and to give to AEE. So I want to thank everyone for all of the effort, support, and leadership this year for AEE. So thank you to everyone who's attending or not. Last year, we set some strategic objectives the board of directors did for AEE. I just wanted to once again reiterate these. Our three strategic objectives that drives what we're doing is to connect our members globally while meeting their needs locally. So obviously we're a global group family of 18,000 members, but we're 103 chapters. So each of you are the leaders of those chapters in your respective region or country. So really globally and locally. We also are focused on enhancing and solidifying the value of the AEE membership. You can be a member of a chapter and also a member of AEE. What does that mean, and adding more value? And I think some of our guest speakers today will highlight some of the things that we've done that I think are very exciting, and some things to come for AEE membership. And I think the final thing is addressing the urgent global environmental and energy needs for certified and qualified professionals. The world's changing, focus on energy efficiency, sustainability, and climate change. And so we need qualified, competent professionals. So addressing that global need with professionals just like yourselves to really solve these complex solutions that we're facing, as one global family. Okay, so those are our strategic objectives. A couple of announcements. I'm pleased to announce that the AEE Books Catalog and Library will be live tomorrow. That's Friday the 13th. And so the books that have been essentially unavailable, maybe through purchase through some various channels, but the AEE Book Library will be back online, available to members to purchase at a member discount. Starting tomorrow, the links will be up, an email announcement will go out. So we're pleased that books are once again available, reference books. And also our publisher is River Publishers that we're partnering with. So anyone wanting to author new books, then River Publishers, Rajiv and his team there will be available to work with authors to get more reference books added. Okay, so we're excited about that, a new announcement. You'll get a notification tomorrow. This is kind of a heads up. We set our 3 strategic objectives from the board of directors, but beneath that, we're setting some initiatives. And you may have received an email yesterday that one of our first initiatives is, we're calling it our climate change initiative. I think all of you know about climate change. And I think there's certainly a recognition that energy efficiency can help us achieve almost half of the climate change goals. So we're really on a campaign that's launched officially. We sent a notification yesterday, but we'll have an official launch next Friday. We have a website, Earth's Energy Engineers. You can look at that. We urge you to attend the launch next Friday, but really it's all about, we're a global group of 18,000 energy engineers who are making a difference and can make a tremendous difference. And just getting the message out that we're here, we're doing the work, and come to us and we can help you reach your climate change goals through energy efficiency. So we're excited about that. And you'll be seeing lots of our launch, going to be social media, advertising campaigns, et cetera, helping to further the reach of AEE beyond our traditional group that knows who we are. Okay.
Excellent.
Yes, comment?
Nope.
Okay.
All
so
good, Bill.
Finally, this year has been a crazy year. Certainly, we've all done tons and tons of Zooms and webinars and Microsoft Teams, et cetera. And our events, we canceled our East event this year. We did a virtual event for West. We're going to have a virtual World the first week of December. And we're planning and hoping to be in person for 2021. These are our dates and our events. We're planning to be in Boston in March. We're working to confirm that. Long Beach, California in May. Dublin, Ireland. I see Roland, our partner in Ireland. Dublin, Ireland for AEE Europe in September next year. And then AEE World will be in New Orleans in October next year. So hopefully we'll all meet in person in New Orleans, celebrate there, and get to network with one another. So that's our plans for next year. And so, Michelle, was there anything else? So with that, really, I just want to thank each of you for all you continue to do. Certainly, we're here for you. And we'll turn it over to Michelle. And please use the chat function and enjoy the meeting.
Bill, that was a terrific update. We appreciate that. And it gives everybody, it's amazing. I think we're all getting master's degrees in Zoom. But Michelle Whitlock is next on the agenda. She is going to give us an update on new chapters. Michelle.
Thank you. Thanks, Tim. I will officially introduce myself to those of you who don't know me in a little bit when I give a bigger update. But I just wanted to highlight our new chapters. Alan is going to go over the student chapters here right after me. But just, in the world of COVID, we actually added new chapters this year, which is pretty impressive. Late in 2019, we added Pakistan and Nigeria and Uganda. And then early 2020, we added China, Central China chapter, and Ghana. So we're up to 108 chapters. These are our established chapters, so our, I guess you would say, professional chapters. 48 outside the U.S. and 60 inside the U.S. So just a little overview and highlight on those.
That's great, Michelle. Certainly appreciate it. Next on our schedule today, Elaine is going to, he's the Assistant Director for International Member Development, and he's going to pick up on the student chapter activity.
Hello, everyone. I'm really glad and honored to be here with you today for my first year as Assistant Director for Student Affairs and update you on the most recent students chapters worldwide. So since our last chapter leadership meeting in Washington 2019, we had 80 new student chapters. We had our first student chapter in Latin America, and that's in Brazil. We had one new student chapter in Tunisia, one in Palestine, 4 in Jordan, and Jordan has raised the bar so hard. So now we have 10 student chapters in Jordan, and we had 1 new student chapter in Lebanon, and that brings the total to 38 student chapters worldwide, 11 inside the US, and 27 international student chapters. Thank you.
It's amazing to see growth like that. And Samer, you should probably take a little bow. You probably had a few things to do with those folks in Jordan. So keep up the good work. Elaine, keep after him though. Keep poking him to make him carry it on. Okay. Next, we're going to introduce someone who's been with AEE in one form or another forever. Larry Good. Larry's going to give us an update on the International Travel Fund, which of course, I guess it's a special condition this year. Larry?
Yeah, thanks, Tim. The International Travel Fund, for those who don't know it, is it's a source of funding for people to help people come to AEE World every year from around the world, and the sources are AEE itself and donations from other chapters or individuals, and cost share by the traveler, the delegate himself or herself. This year, nobody traveled. However, 3 chapters did contribute money: Northern Ohio, Chicago, Indiana, and Southwest Ohio. We thank them for their donations, and these donations will be held until next year, earmarked.
One of the beauties of Zoom is that you
apply, and for the selection criteria is look for candidates who have done the most to make their chapters sustainable. AEE does not like temporary chapters. We really want these chapters to go on and keep doing the good work, and that's the criterion. That's it. Thank you.
Awesome, Larry. Thanks. We are going to have a bunch of chapter recognition awards. We're going to save that to the end as kind of a highlight, but we certainly appreciate everything they do. We do have a community service chapter awardees, and I think it would be worthwhile recognizing them at this point. Michelle, would you like to run that video?
Can't hear it.
I can't hear it.
Yeah, we lost the audio.
Okay, hold on.
You'll be glad to know that worked well when we rehearsed it, by the way.
We'll try again. Hold on. Ah.
Still can't hear it.
Hmm.
Do you want to, I'll move on to Steve if you want to play with that in the background and we can rerun it in a little bit, Michelle.
Okay. Yeah, let's try that.
Maybe because you're wearing a headset.
No, it worked fine this morning, but of course, that's how these things work. Well, we'll get it. Don't worry about that. So Steve Beck, I'm assuming you're on the call. You're our president of Greater Philadelphia chapter. And Steve, where are you? Come on in and
Yep,
say
I'm
hi.
here. Yep, I'm here. Yeah, thanks. Can you hear me okay?
You're great.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
Yeah, so thanks for having me. We're very proud and excited about receiving the Community Service Award this year. Our board is very dedicated. You know, I think a lot of these programs have been established long before I was here by my predecessors, and they encompass a couple different areas. One being, we support a couple programs financially with donations. We also support a couple programs by volunteering time by various board members. One of those is scholarships. We do typically award at least 3 local scholarships, typically around $1,000 each, to college students interested in energy related or engineering related programs. So we're proud of that, and that's been going on for years. We also support Future Cities, which is a science competition. Those of you who haven't heard about that before, I think it's a national program, and we support the Philadelphia region specifically with a donation. Actually, we just sent it out this morning, as a matter of fact. But we also have several of our board members and our general membership volunteer as mentors with that program to help typically middle school age kids develop various engineering projects. So we're very proud of that. Youth Build Philly is a great, almost like a charter school in Philadelphia that handles typically urban areas and helps kids kind of establish a trade or some sort of a goal after high school to move into a trade. So we both support that financially, and Jim Clark, one of our board members, acts as a liaison there to help find opportunities for kids that come out of that charter school. And then lastly, we have an employment initiative that Jim Clark also heads up, that where he's found, I mean, I don't even know what the number's up to now, but he acts as a liaison between folks looking for employment, those companies in our region that are looking for employees. So he kind of acts as a matchmaker at that program, and that's been going on for years too. So I think, like I said, these programs have been around for many years, and I'm glad it's getting the recognition at the national, international level now. Because I think it's valuable as an organization to kind of give back to our community and our region, not just with networking and the business related things that we all do every day, but contributing to our community and frankly, even down to the middle school level kids within our region. So thanks again, appreciate it.
Steve, thanks. That's a lot of good things the chapter's doing and should be emulated by as many as possible. Michelle, are we queued up again? You want to run it?
I will try. I don't know what else to do, but let me try one more time. I'm going to stop sharing and go back.
Okay.
Thank you for awarding the essay.
Not good.
Lefa Valentine
Okay,
Bowani,
here we go.
an electrical engineer who was part of the second youth program.
I am Mavis Mapoto, an electrical engineer who is part of the third youth program running currently. We are part of the lucky few youth in South Africa who benefited from this program, made possible by the Limpopo Department, Economic Development, Environment and Tourism. A special thank you to Lily Maja, Mashela Makobela, and John Mutimele.
We both grew up in the rural areas of the Limpopo province in South Africa. For me, it has been a platform where I experienced working with and being mentored by the best in the industry, the respected AEE certified professionals here in South Africa. Myself and Mavis were also chosen to work at the 2019 SIEE conference, where we interacted with a lot of industry professionals.
I have learned that what you focus on expands and what you resist persists. So we will always grab every opportunity we are given and be the best in it.
Thank you, AEE, for recognizing us and the SAEEC and the professionals that made it possible.
The youth of South Africa appreciates it.
Well done, Michelle, and thank you to the youth of South Africa and to the ladies. That was very impressive. We have next coming up a whole series of topics and presenters. And first on our list is that we're going to get some update on AEE training. And to do that, Teresa Piazza is our training director. And I'm going to turn it over to Teresa. Good morning.
Morning, Tim. Thanks, everybody. I'm just going to spend just a minute or two to give an update. And so I really just, Michelle had asked, what's the process for US chapters to host training? So I wanted to give kind of a recap of this. I know some of you know this, some of you may not. Typically, we have a 15 participant minimum to host a course, whether it's private or a chapter. The way it breaks down, so the chapter would be responsible for handling all registrations, collecting all the information, collecting all of the participant fees, the marketing, the logistics, finding a location, things like that. And so AEE on this end, we're responsible for finding you an instructor, handling all instructor expenses, the materials, and the exam fees. So it's pretty straightforward. If you're interested, you just contact me and we'll start walking through the process and seeing what the options are. To give you a little bit of background, sometimes we do run into issues. Well, we don't have enough people to sign up, or you think you're going to have enough people, but ended up, 5 people are interested. So some of the things you may want to consider is consider partnering with another chapter to co-sponsor a training. You could consider partnering with a private organization or a private company. And so they may have just a small handful, but would then sort of plant that seed for a chapter course. That's, I've seen that work pretty well. And then build up the demand first for your course and see who's actually interested. And one thing I did not put on here that might be worthwhile thinking about is we have a whole portfolio of courses to offer. CEM is offered around the country, around the world, multiple times in multiple formats, but we also have other courses that we don't offer nearly as much. So you actually may have more interest. So always think about that you're not limited to just the CEM. Okay, thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Teresa. We're blessed to have Teresa. She's been with AEE about a year and a half. I'll probably be off by a couple months, but she's heading up the training department and keeping herself a little bit busy. Well, but that's domestic training. And now we're going to switch over to our international, I will call her the international queen, the goddess. She's the one who takes care of all the international folks. And Mary Elise gets to live in different time zones. So it's not unusual for her to be on the phone in what would be the middle of night for most of us, catching up with her associates overseas. Mary Elise, it's all yours.
Hey, Tim. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I see so many familiar faces. Good to see you all. Thanks for letting me share just a little bit today about international training programs. I'm going to kind of go back to basics. So AE presents our certification training courses internationally with AEE approved training partners. This is done with the approval of AEE on a licensing basis in a specified territory, and only AE trained and approved instructors can teach those. So in order to be considered as a potential training partner, the entity must be a well-established and compliant AEE chapter or another approved organization, and in either case should not be created for the sole purpose of running AEE certification training programs. Now, in some cases, you might find that there's already an established training partner in a country or territory. And in those cases, we encourage a collaboration between the training partner and the chapter whenever possible. So upon approval and a partnership agreement, AE expert instructors train a core group of professionals in the country as an initial course and qualify eligible certified professionals. as local AEE authorized instructors following our established train the trainer procedures. So once approved, instructors are eligible to teach a specified program under the terms of a licensing agreement that we have with the local AE partner and AEE. We also follow guidelines to establish an in-country certification board, as well as approve a certification administrator who both serve critical functions when running AE certification training internationally. There are a few important things to consider as a chapter if you're interested or already running AEE training. And so the AE chapter must remain compliant with AEE. In order to do so, so the core functions of the chapter must be maintained and properly managed. So AE represents chapters represent AE locally to the industry, as well as disseminates information and allows for networking. So these must be given the utmost attention and proper reporting to AEE for the potential certification training function to be viable, successful, and most importantly, sustainable. So I want to just personally thank each of you who are involved with AE certification training. And if I have not had the pleasure of working with you, I hope to have the opportunity one day in the future. We have a great support team in the International Training Department with Kate and Denise, who many of you know, and we're just all here to help you out. So thanks so much.
Mary Elise, that was awesome. Greatly appreciated. Well, next we're going to switch over to Helen Johnson. Now, Helen's been with AEE for a long time in several different roles. Most recently, she was CEM certification director, but she now is the overall certification, I guess I will say certification director in charge of globalizing certifications. I don't want to steal any of her thunder, but Helen, come on in.
Thanks, Tim. And Michelle, if you want to go ahead and go to the next slide. Hello, everyone. I'm Helen Johnson, the Certification Development Director, and I'm responsible for developing and maintaining global certification schemes, establishing standards and consistency among our certification processes, and overseeing the 17024 accredited programs. And then we have Crystal, who manages the CEM certification, Michelle, who manages the CMVP, EEP, and PCF certifications, and Francine, who manages the CEA, CBCP, and all other certifications. And then we have Priscilla, who manages all the domestic certification renewals and some of the international certification renewals. And then Kay and Denise, like Mary Elise had mentioned, who manage all the programs with our partners outside of the US. Okay, you can go to the next one, Michelle. Also want to give an update on the certification committee that was established with the purpose to assist the AEE Board of Directors with the ongoing, oh, go back one slide, Michelle. There we go. With the ongoing development and evaluation of AEE's current certifications, potential new certifications, to meet changing market needs, and possible elimination of merging of older certifications. So this year we have gathered and organized data on 33 certifications, so the committee can do a thorough analysis, and the committee will be ready very soon to present a recommendation to the AEE Board of Directors. Okay, next one. Also this year, we started the initiative to revamp all our certifications that meet the markets of all our members. So an AEE global certification program includes a global board, a body of knowledge that we use for short BOK, that appeals to a global audience, and training and exam materials that align with the global BOK. So a global certification program is transferable and recognizable around the world. Our steps include establishing a certification board with subject matter experts from around the world. Next, having the board develop and approve a body of knowledge that appeals to the global audience. Once that is done, the board will review the requirements, including eligibility, job tasks, and exam parameters. And then some members of the certification board will develop the exam, and then a separate training committee develops the training materials. Okay, next. And then lastly, just want to share with anyone who doesn't already know that AEE started offering remote proctored exams earlier this year. Remote proctoring refers to taking an online exam using a personal computer from home or business with a live proctor monitoring the candidate by webcam and screen sharing technology. We started offering remote proctoring in April, and we have had over 1,300 candidates take the exam, and approximately 11% in a language other than English, with an overall 90% candidate satisfaction. That's it.
Okay. Helen, just a quick question there. Is that remote proctoring, Bill just threw up a chat note, is that available everywhere throughout the world? Or we're working in the different regions?
Yep, it is. It's available worldwide.
Excellent. Well, very useful. And I did a test run on it and it works pretty well. So I'm glad to hear we have that satisfaction rate. So next we're going to introduce our membership director, and Shannon Bridges has replaced Patricia Ardovan, who retired a few months ago. And even in the midst of COVID, Shannon's coming up to speed, and I'm sure she's going to do a great job for AEE. Shannon, welcome, and please take the floor.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay? Yep, okay. So I started back in July as the membership director, and I'm thrilled to be here. I've spent most of my career working in the same kind of realm, but it's been in a nonprofit, more health-driven organization, and it's been interesting to transition some of those best practices over to AEE. So I'm really excited about growing our membership and serving as the main point of contact if anyone has any questions. You can go to the next slide. So one of the first things I was charged with when I got here was to look at our individual member global fees and our rates. We wanted to really make sure that they were applicable across the globe. So all of our members really were having the same type of economic setup that we could also offer fees that matched where they were in their particular country. So what we did is we went ahead and really examined what was happening in the industry and what was happening in the World Bank. And we have aligned ourselves, our memberships, with the World Bank levels. We have a high, upper middle, a lower middle, and a low. And the way that this will work is some countries are a little above, some countries are a little below, but we really want to make sure that we move them in a direction that is going to be manageable for our members, that we're not giving them a price that's just going to be kind of a sticker shock. We want to migrate them to the level that they would most comfortably be at. And so we have some countries that are paying $40 and $90 and $195. And so we wanted to really get everybody on the same page. So over the course of the next 2 years, we will adjust those rates. And we will align folks where their fees and rates are really manageable and can still take part as a member with the organization. This chart just gives you a little bit of an idea of if they have a current rate, where they would be adjusted to, and how we are going to step them through that process. The next thing that I was really charged with is the corporate tiers. We have really examined our corporate members, and we wanted to make sure that we were also giving them a manageable rate and corresponding that to benefits that were really going to help their individual companies. And so we come up with 3 levels, and they are managed on the number of employees. We have a silver, that's 1 to 10 employees. We have gold, which is 11 to 250, and then we have platinum, 251 and above. And as you can see, we've really tried to adjust the rates based off of the number of employees that, that the company has. And then we've aligned those benefits so that they really have a value to that company, and they can be more engaged and at a rate that's going to really be acceptable to their bottom line. We've also looked at the global levels, and we've adjusted those, and those will all be rolled out here in the next year. Our January 1 is when our new members will take advantage of this. And then over the course of the next 3 years, we can grandfather in some of our companies and make sure that, again, that we're stepping them through a tier approach that's going to work best for them and that it's really going to give them the most value as a corporate member with the organization. I think that might be it. I'll turn it back over.
Shannon, thank you very much. Some great initiatives, and obviously adjusting pricing based on economic conditions was pretty important. And the new corporate things are actually pretty exciting in terms of equity. Well, next up is Michael Hewson. He is our brand manager, creative director, kind of all around. If you need something in marketing or advertising, start with Michael. And Michael, take over. You got some exciting new stuff.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Let me just switch over here and share my screen. So one particular thing I wanted to talk about today and present to you was something that Michelle and I have been working on for the last 3 months. And I'm pleased to announce it's available today. So if you need this and want to utilize this AEE chapter website template, just contact Michelle going forward from today. So we've developed this because obviously to help out all the chapters that need help developing a website. So this template that you can see here, and I'll scroll through and I'm going to go through slowly here so that the screen refreshes and updates so you can see all of the elements of this template that we put together. It's all in WordPress. So it's a worldwide system. 70% of the world's websites are built in WordPress. And it's got language support. So if you want to produce your website in your local language, you can do that on the administration side and on the front end side. So all you need is somebody that knows a little bit about WordPress, or maybe somebody local in your area that you can call to develop this. And it's got a lot of function for you. We looked at a few chapter websites in existence and looked at the features that people were using and people need. And so we built all of that into this website template. It's got a fully functional payment system in the back end. We've got 2 template membership pages where you can send people to register and join AEE via our site, or you can take your local chapter dues, if you charge chapter dues, through the payment system, and that will go directly to you. So you can implement whichever template and whichever direction you want to go. It's got a chapter leadership section here, where obviously once you fill in your details, this will all dynamically drop in. It's got a fully robust event system in the back end here, where you can set up your events, and you may charge for the events or set the events as free. And again, that payment system is in the back end, and you can obviously filter and see the events that are on and hover over the events. So it's a really good event system in the back end there for doing your chapter meetings or any conferences and local events that you guys do. It's got a fully functioning jobs section in here. So you can go to jobs in your area and post various jobs. And obviously we've got example posts in here for jobs that are coming up, and then you would put the job details in there. And it's bringing in the news on the right hand side here. We've got a sponsors and partnerships area where you can promote the people that are helping you and promoting your chapters. Again, and that might be event driven, or it might be, maybe corporate members in your area that you could put in there. And then we've got a news section where you can do blog postings or news sections as well. So fully functional, easy to use, should be very familiar to people that are using WordPress. All the apps in the back end that drive these functions are all supplied by AEE, so there should be zero cost to any chapter that wants to develop this. The only cost involved is then the hosting fees when you post this out onto the site that you would want to post it to. And if you have any questions about this, obviously you can go through Michelle or contact myself directly. So excited about it for you guys.
Michael, that is awesome. It's been a long time in the development, but the final product is really impressive. Thanks very much.
No problem.
Let us circle back for a moment to Michelle Whitlock. It's always good to review the various resources available to the chapters. So Michelle, would you fill us in?
Yes. So sorry, I'm running a couple computer screens here, but I'll try to focus on my presentation. So I think I know a lot of you. I've been scrolling through, looking at pictures, not in this capacity as executive administrator, but just from being at past World or WEC conferences, AEE events. So I'm excited to work with all of you from the chapter level. Hopefully next year is better for our chapters. I know there's been a lot of struggle with chapter meetings, going virtual. It's been a challenge. So I'm here to help, and I'm here to offer as many resources and tools as I can. I just encourage you to reach out. And just to reiterate what Bill had said earlier, I am replacing Ruth Whitlock, who retired after many, many years. And I've been on our staff for about 12 years in a couple different roles. And I'm also the main point of contact for CWIL. So so briefly what I'm going to cover, our Zoom account for chapters that we added early this year, some chapter development forms that we're taking online, K through 12 initiative, a new database. It's a new AEE database, but we have features for our chapter leaders that are really exciting. And then just lastly, chapter resources and tools that we have to date. So Zoom accounts, if you don't know already, we have 10 Zoom accounts for our chapters. We're sharing these logins by region. And, so far we haven't had anyone, double book a Zoom meeting. But if so, we could share another account with you. So this is a paid Zoom account. So there's no time limit. You can have up to 300 people. You can record the meetings. They can, go into the cloud-based, and then you can download it, add it to YouTube, or send it out. And then you can track attendance. So a lot of these, the free Zoom accounts don't have these features. So if you're not taking advantage of that already, I would encourage you reach out to me or your regional vice president or the assistant director for your region, and they can help you get the right login. Wrong computer. Okay. So updates to some forms. So a few years ago, Ruth had asked me to take the chapter operations report online, and I did that for her. And we've taken our award nomination forms online. So next, the goal is to transition our chapter startup kit to online. So a lot of the forms that we have, just from reporting on your officers or, the 10 members to get started, I'm basically putting all of that online. So it'll just come through email. It'll be a lot easier to manage things. So look for that early next year for both developing chapters and our established chapters for just a new online access. So the K through 12 initiative. So this is a U.S. Department of Energy Better Buildings Workforce Accelerator Initiative. So they have several goals to build interest and awareness around energy efficiency careers and improving, the energy efficiency workforce. So AEE has partnered, and we have several goals to align with them. But one that myself and Sharon Houston are focused on is building presence in K through 12 schools. So, I want to point out that this is a U.S. Department of Energy initiative, but AEE's focus is global. So we're looking to develop some tools, an outreach program that our local chapters can then, distribute to their communities, to their local schools, really getting K through 12, some kind of program or resources into those young children, all the way up through high school, making sure they know about the career paths they can take, and things like that. So if you're interested in, helping with that, send me a message after this. We would love to have some local chapter officers involved in that. Okay, a new database. So I'm saying tentative. We have a tentative go live date of early 2021 with a new association management software system. And so just briefly to describe what that means, basically a new membership, certification, event, training, everything database for AEE's contacts. So we'll be transitioning from our current provider to a new provider. And really what that means, what I want to highlight is some benefits for our chapter leaders. So you'll be able to log in like you would with your member login now, and manage your chapter officers, take people down, add new people. You'll be able to run a report for your members, run a report for contacts in your chapter's jurisdiction, with our zip code mapping. And then we also will have the ability to suggest a chapter when somebody joins. So if I'm joining and I put in my zip code of Atlanta, it'll say, hey, do you want to join the Atlanta chapter? So I think all really good benefits. I'm sure there's, a whole lot more, but those are the ones I want to highlight today. And then lastly, tools and resources. There's so many resources and it's all online and it's very confusing and hard to get to. So I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. And you guys are all very helpful in telling me what's confusing and what you need more information on. So that keep the comments coming. So first, I've created a Dropbox showcase, and I haven't shared that link publicly yet, only to those who have requested it. But as I get it finalized, I'll send that out to everyone before the end of the year. But what it has is brand and marketing guidelines, AEE logos, the color schemes we use, and then all of AEE's marketing materials. So training, program information, certification flyers, information about our events. Basically anything we put out there will be added so that you as the local chapter could then distribute that information to your local members. And then we also have a YouTube channel that has a ton of videos that you could look back at our old chapter webinars, our old member webinars, past keynote speakers, things that you could use for virtual chapter meetings, even some old YouTube webinars. So all of that can be found on our website. If you go to the main website, hover over membership, and then chapters, and then chapter resources, it is all there. It's just a little hard to find, and I'm working on that. So I think that's it from me.
So all in all, you really haven't been doing anything much for the last 6 months, or no? Okay.
Yeah,
Great
not
job.
been busy at all.
No, there's just some awesome things on there that are a great resource. Let's go over to Bobby Starling, who's in charge of our chapter webinars. This is a new feature that's been in a while, but pretty exciting and well attended. Bobby?
Thank you, Tim. And hello to everyone worldwide. First of all, I'd like to give a big shout out to Michelle. She's the one that makes things happen with the webinars that we do. And I really appreciate it. This year, we've had a significant increase in attendance. I think that the virus has had an impact. I believe that the programs have had an impact, and the interest continues to grow each and every webinar that we have. One of the things we've done this year is we've changed back our platform. We've changed our platform to the Zoom background, and that's a whole lot easier for somebody like me to use. Before you see the topics that we had and the months that we had. We started out with resources for AEE chapters, which is always a good thing to know. It never ceases to amaze me that we need to continue to put that information out for folks to know what's available to them. We've had good support through how to get support for chapters throughout AEE, and we had a great presentation on Seawell this year. Next slide, Michelle. As we look ahead to 2021, one of the major objectives that we have is we're moving to monthly webinars. In 2020, we had every other month, or bi-monthly webinars. We'll start off with the awards process, very important to recognize hardworking members and contributions to AEE worldwide. We'll move on down as we present And we will have a presentation on virtual or live chapter meetings as we continue to work through the changes that we have faced this year. And we'll get back and do an additional update on Seawell. One of the things that I'd like to personally ask everyone in attendance today is to please send in to Michelle or myself topics that you'd like to see discussed. We're always open to hear from our members out there. We want topics of relevance specifically that you're interested in. And the best way to get those is to hear from you. Thanks for your attention today. Tim, back to you.
Bob, thanks. I appreciate all your hard work putting that together. It's really been a valuable resource, I believe, for our chapters. Next up is Lori Wiegand Jackson. And Lori was one of the driving forces that got Seawheel started. So Lori, would you provide us an update? You're muted.
Thank you so much. Just had to unmute myself there for a moment. So a lot has been going on this year, and I did want to say I've seen a couple of names come up in the chat, people who have been strong Seawheel supporters. I just want to say a shout out to Devetta in New York, Cynthia in California, Ayub in Tunisia, and Samer and Fatu, and I'm sure there's some I've missed, but these people have been such great champions of Seawheel, and I really appreciate their efforts. And I'm hoping to encourage you all to really take an active effort in supporting the mission of Seawheel. And this year, AEE and Seawheel took a step to continue to advance gender equality and gender diversity in the energy efficiency space by joining the campaign called Equal by 30. It's part of the Clean Energy Education and Empowerment Initiative to commit to work towards equal pay, equal leadership, and equal opportunities for women in the clean energy sector by 2030. So we're very excited. There are many organizations and corporations that have already, and countries that have already signed up to be part of this initiative. And we'll be working closely with AEE, excuse me, and local chapters to see this through between now and 2030. One of the things we did this year was we clarified our structure. So to be sure, we've always been a division of the Association of Energy Engineers. So Seawheel works in reporting up to the AEE executive team. But this year we really took a good look at how we're going to more effectively promote Seawheel. So both in the US and internationally, we're launching Seawheel groups to recruit, engage, and represent women in our local chapters. And we need this so that we can increase the diversity of our chapters. And I want to really say thank you to our international group because they came up with that Seawheel group concept. The other thing is too, and if you just go back for 1 second, we did come up with 2 roles, the Seawheel lead and the chapter liaison. So many of you are familiar with the chapter liaison role. They communicate between the Seawheel board and your local chapters. And then the Seawheel lead is going to be the person who is hopefully on your board, who will take the responsibility for growing a Seawheel group at your local chapter. Thanks, Michelle. Next slide. So this is our current list of chapter liaisons. And so if you don't, this is in the United States. I have another slide coming up for international. If you don't see your chapter on this list, please reach out to myself, Michelle, or Deb Lenny, who oversees our chapter liaisons, so that we can get you up and running with your chapter liaison. And the same is true. Chapter leads, we're just starting. We have, I think, 3 so far from chapters. So as you appoint your chapter leads, please let us know and connect them in with us so that we can help them to grow that Seawheel local chapter, local group within your chapter. Next slide. And this is the same list for our international Seawheel groups. And kind of exciting, we've got a number of things. Jordan this year did 30 days of Zoom speakers. Our Seawheel Chile group did a green hydrogen conference. Our Palestine group held a women's energy training conference. Tunisia held a large women in energy conference in 2019 that I was able to participate in. Actually, a number of us were able to attend. And our Turkey group had their first networking meeting to launch Seawheel this year. So there's a lot going on internationally as well. And this is kind of wrapping up what we've done this year. We've worked on bylaws, kind of providing a greater understanding of our governance between AEE and Seawheel. We held 4 virtual webinars focused on working in a COVID world, and then we held another webinar recently on kind of ramping up your personal energy. It was great, utilizing electrical terms to help us understand and assess our own personal energy. On the fundraising and corporate sponsor side, this was a slower year because we didn't have the in-person events, which is generally where we do most of our fundraising, but we are holding 2 events at the AEE World, and we are soliciting for sponsorships for those. So if any of your companies would like to be seen as a promoter of women in our industry, this would be a great chance to be a sponsor of one of our Seawheel events. We added 2 new international board positions, one of which is open, and we're filling to take Kathleen Odell's place. She's finishing her term this year. And let's see, we're going to have an AEE Journal Seawheel edition in 2021. So we're working on the articles for that. Our mentor program is growing. I encourage every chapter to talk to your membership about being a mentor for this program, or if you have young women members, about being a mentee in the program. But we are short of mentors. We have mentees on a waiting list. So if you would like, this is a very facilitated program. You have a lot of support from Charlotte Wagner. She provides monthly topics. She does follow-up. So it's a pretty easy program. It's not a heavy lift in terms of time, but it would be great for you to encourage your members to participate as mentors. Our membership's going to align with AEE's membership structure, so that's coming out in 2021. And for scholarships and awards, we awarded 11 scholarships this year, 9 US and 2 international. And at our AEE World event, we'll be announcing the winners of the Best Seawheel Chapter US and International. Those Seawheel Champion chapters get a $500 award as well as the recognition. So we'll be making that announcement. And if you would like, you can donate to our scholarships through Nandini, who, you know what? I didn't see Nandini's name on here, but I think she's also on this call, and she's one of our board members in charge of scholarships and awards. And the other thing is you could also provide funding for International Travel Fund that Larry mentioned, and just earmark it for Seawheel so we can get more women internationally to attend AEE World next year in New Orleans. So a lot going on with Seawheel. Really encouraged about the progress that we're making, and so appreciative of AEE's support and all of your support to continue to bring more diversity and more women into our association and into our industry. Thank you.
Thanks, Lori. And you must be raising the awareness for everybody. I can tell you that we continually see more and more ladies in the CEM training classes, and they bring a lot to the table.
Yeah.
We're happy to have them. Yeah, it's working. So next up is Priscilla Carbaugh. Priscilla is in charge of the foundation. So that's our scholarship group. Priscilla.
Thank you, Tim. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, hello everybody. My name is Priscilla Carvas. Tim mentioned I am in charge of the certification renewals director, but also the most rewardful position of all is that I am the scholarship director of the AE Foundation. And I just want to share with you a few things that happened this year, a very difficult year. But at a glance, we had for 2022, 47 recipients of a scholarship with an average GPA of 362, with a $47,000 awarded this year. The majors, as you can see, the usual mechanical, electrical, energy, environmental, facilities, marine, and chemical. The gender is 66 versus 34. It was a little bit down for this year, but also we can blame COVID for that. The levels of education for the applicants, mostly they were seniors and graduates. We just have a few freshmen, juniors 8, and some for only 7. Perfect. I just want also to give a little bit of a recognition of the chapter that made possible the scholarships this year. And thank you so much. I know the difficulties of this year has provided for every single one of us, but I just need to recognize Northern Ohio with $2,000, North Texas $5,000, New York chapter $500, Rocky Mountain $5,000, Norcal $1,750, and Nevada $6,000. And there's no such a thing like big or small donation, because we are very proud of the work that we're doing, and we are just helping our next generation of energy visionaries. And I am so grateful for that. If you have any questions about the scholarships, just contact me at any time. I am just one click away. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Priscilla. And obviously, all of us in the industry appreciate the fact we need to self-support our young folks coming up in the industry. There's a lot of gray hair showing in these slides. We need to make sure we've got our replacements coming in. All right, hey, now it's fun time. This is the chapter leadership panel. So you've got the slide up, and you can see we, of course, have a lot of staff folks that have already spoken. And we've added in a few. John Lord's joined us. And this is where we sort of open it up to the floor. We've had an amazing amount of things already take place. I've seen a lot of chat questions pop up. And what we're going to ask you to do is, if you want to ask the board something in a live format, just digitally raise your hand, and we will drag you in and let you beat up these folks. But in the meantime, anybody have a question right now? If not, I've got one for the panel just to see if they all still have a pulse. No? Okay. Well, you have a lot of wisdom and experience here. And of course, the thing we're all working our way through at the chapter level in particular is, how do we do meetings in this COVID environment? I know that for the Northern Ohio chapter, we have done straight Zoom meetings. We've even done some hybrid meetings, a combination Zoom and live with the appropriate social distancing and those kind of things. And I'm just curious, folks on the panel, I might even pick on John because I know him and he does a great job. John, any thoughts on how it's affecting chapters? And of course, your chapter is pretty strong. Can you share?
Tim,
John,
I'm not sure John is on. I haven't seen him.
I was just checking myself. Well, he's off the hook then. Okay. I saw Rick Lubinsky on. Rick, unmute yourself and come on up for a minute. I know you're not on the panel, but I wouldn't mind hearing from you a little bit about the hybrid meetings, since I've missed most of them.
They've been challenging. Most of the speakers are dealing with corporate travel restrictions, so it's easier to line up a speaker if it's a virtual meeting. We've used the AEE Zoom platform, as well as the speaker's preferred platform to make it easier. And we seem to be getting about 10 people face to face and the balance with a virtual attendance. So it's a little challenging, but we're doing what best we can in the current situation.
Thanks, Rick. I appreciate those comments, and I think everybody's probably doing the same thing. We've obviously been doing a lot of Zoom training, and I can tell you it's different, but it's not bad. It's not as much fun as being together, and I'm certainly looking forward to all of us being together in Boston and New Orleans and the rest of the live activities, but this is way better than nothing. Mr. Kent seems to have a comment.
Well, I just have a question, and this will be to Michael Hughes. And Michael, I saw, you gave the quick overview on the new chapter template, chapter website template. We're very excited about that. Seen a number of questions come through the chat box on that. So I guess the question is there going to be more information, more details going to the chapters, and what's the cost to the chapters on this, just to make sure everybody's clear and understands?
Okay, so yes, we'll be sending out some more information, some specific information about the template. The template comes with support documentation as well, so you will have a how-to to do some of the functions inside the template as well for each of the different apps. The cost to the actual chapter, if they go ahead and load this up, there's 2 different hosting services that we recommend. SiteGround or Nexus, and the SiteGround is like $10 a month, I would say, for the plan that would work for most chapters, and Nexus, which is more highly recommended just from a speed point of view, and I think that goes up to about $24 a month. So if you sign up to those services, that's the bare minimum cost that would be to any chapters. So for $100 a year, you could have a fully functioning website right there to go for each one of your chapters.
So Michael, really the only cost to the chapters is kind of doing the configuration and hosting. There's no fee from AEE. AEE is invested in developing this as a standard that will be made available, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, there's a number of functions in the back end that require apps, and where that is the case, AEE's basically put that money forward and signed up for those apps on behalf of all the chapters as well. So there was 3. I think it's worth saying there was 3 scenarios that we believe that you could use this template. One is you get the template, the files, you have somebody internally within the chapter that knows how to do a little bit of WordPress, a little bit of web development, and they could implement the website themselves, and that would obviously probably be 0 cost to a chapter. If not, you could go to somebody local, maybe a local web design firm, and if you're in Jordan or Pakistan or England, you would be paying local rates to those individuals rather than having to pay, let's say, US developer costs. As I say, WordPress is fully functional and adopted worldwide, so you can go in the back end and change your language and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, so I think that would be it. And I think the third scenario would be then if you don't have anybody local or you don't have anybody inside the chapter, then you could possibly reach out to us and we can put you in touch with a design company that produced this template for us.
And Michael, what about the domain purchase for the domain name? Is that included or separate?
That would be separate, but basically when you sign up to a hosting service now, you generally get a free domain name. So I'll use the example Jordan at aechapter.com. So if that's available, generally when you sign up to a service, you get that free for the first year, and then after that, it's a minimal, like maybe $25 a year to maintain that URL. And I suppose it's worth saying as well, we have the National Capital Chapter at the moment implementing this template. So we'll look at how easy, any hurdles that they go through to get this done. We may obviously then offer them support to do that, and then basically take that as a learning curve for when we go out and send this thing to other chapters to use.
Michael, I noticed, this is Tim, I noticed a couple of chat questions. you mentioned that it had the, if I understood it right, the ability to accept payments. So can
That's correct.
chapters collect their local dues through the?
Yes. So that one of the apps is a payment system in the back end, and that you can accept payments in various different ways. It's Stripe based, so that's basically an international way of accepting payments. You can send it through a gateway directly to your bank. So if you're in Wells Fargo or National Scottish Bank or whatever, you will be able to send money directly to a bank account that way. Or you can use PayPal on the back end as well. So maybe many chapters are already using PayPal in the back end, so they can maintain that if they want to.
So there's no fee for accessing that from the AEE.
So no, there's no fee. I mean, apart from maybe PayPal fees, of which you would normally get in a normal transfer. So there's no additional fees from the template itself.
Okay, great work on that. Anybody who's attending have any other questions for Michael while we have him unmuted? That new website template's pretty exciting from my standpoint, and the ability to find your local members when people line in, that's pretty awesome. You guys are letting him off easy, but he's done a great job. Thanks, Michael.
No problem.
Running through the chat questions, and my goodness, there's a lot of them. Somebody asked about Dropbox. How do they get the Dropbox link? But I think we're actually going to send that out, aren't we, Michelle?
Yeah, I can go ahead and email it as a wrap up to this meeting. I'll include that and some other links and basically all the highlights from the meeting. I'll make sure to send that out.
Okay, and the meeting's being recorded, right?
Yes, it is.
So it'll probably show up on our YouTube channel or on a web link. So if you want to see it again, we don't want you to miss that opportunity. Okay. So anybody, any other questions? Feel free to chat those in. It's great to have, a lot of the AEE staff just live online waiting to answer questions. So, okay.
I'll
Mr.
throw one out there.
Thank you.
So chapter's website template, great. Membership fee changes, a huge thing. Just kind of want to go back to Shannon one time. So starting in January, just 60 days away, essentially, we're going to be having 4 levels of individual membership rates, correct? Based on the World Bank. So that's going to be in effect, and then we'll have a transitional period if there's a big change for countries, correct? Shannon, you want to just kind of walk through that one more time for us? Shannon? You're muted?
I'm sorry, Bill, I couldn't hear you.
Oh,
What did you ask? I'm sorry.
All right, so 4 levels of member rates starting in January, correct? Based on the World Bank GNI, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and so if people have questions about that, how that's going to work for AEE membership, they'll just reach out to you, and we'll be sending out information on that to our chapters and our members.
We will, and we're hosting calls the second week in December for companies to call in and ask information. But yes, if they can call me or they can send me an email and I'll follow up.
Okay.
Okay, we kind of hit the highlights, and I guess we've been able to disseminate a lot of new information. You can see there's been a lot of progress made, frankly, a lot of exciting developments, and a lot of things going on the staff side that are all very positive. If there aren't any further questions, we can move into kind of the fun part here, and that's the chapter recognition awards. So sort of one last chance, if anybody's got a question while you've got this brain trust sitting around here just full of answers, this is your chance. We will collect the chat questions, I guess, and answers, Michelle, and distribute those. I lost her.
Yeah, I see a couple coming in about different subjects that I probably can't answer, but what we'll do is, put the questions and answers together, and I'll send that out. a lot of questions on the chapter website template. And I think we'll do a chapter webinar focused on just that, and maybe have the chapter who's already put it to use or is getting it put to use right now, maybe they can give them a few days, 30, 60 days to implement it, and then have them on there as well, just to help from a chapter perspective. So
great idea.
But I'll definitely get the rest of the questions and answers out to everyone as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Michelle. I see one question that came in that's probably easy. Membership question. Is the individual life membership still available? That was from Elaine.
Yes, it is.
Do you know the price off the top of your head?
It will depend on the country that you are, if you've got a discount rate, depending on where you're from, then your lifetime membership rate will change. So it's the lowest, I believe, is around $400, $395, and goes up with the, as it aligns to the different economic levels.
Awesome.
And these will all be on our website.
Perfect. Yeah, the new website is, I think everybody at AEE is overjoyed with the capabilities of the new website, and we're starting to see some of the benefits for all of the members. Okay, one last chance for questions. If not, it is now time to present the Chapter Recognition Awards. And we're going to have to cue these up. For first is the Best Chapter Newsletter and Best Community Service Award. So Best Chapter Newsletter domestically, the Greater Philadelphia Chapter. Do we have a little clip from? We do.
Hello and good morning. My name is Steve Beck and I'm president of the Greater Philadelphia Chapter of the Association of Energy Engineers. I've been an AEE member in CEM for over 20 years. The association has always been a wealth of information over the course of my career and a great place to network with friends and colleagues. Today, I'm here to accept the awards for Best National Newsletter and Best National Community Service.
Okay, thank you. And we heard from Steve a little
Although
earlier.
I've only been president just recently, I've been on the board for many years in different capacities. I cannot fully accept credit for these awards as we have the best board made up of the most dedicated and hardest working volunteers in Philadelphia. Those board members are our immediate past president is Tara Pasca, myself, Monica Bersani, who serves double duty as our vice president and membership director, Helen Silbus, who's our treasurer and education director, Phil Coleman is our secretary, Glenn Murphy is our awards coordinator, Judy Subers heads up our event coordination, Marla Gardner is our communications manager, Daryl Marie Landgraf is our newsletter editor, Jim Clark heads up our jobs initiative, and Mike Walton is our website administrator. Our award-winning newsletter is produced by Daryl Marie Landgraf. Congratulations to her for all those long nights and weekends spent producing the quality product being recognized here today. Also, thanks to all the others on the board who contributed content and proofread it monthly. Our Community Service Award is the result of a few initiatives. We support several college-level scholarships for those interested in disciplines related to the energy field. We also support middle-age programs by donating time and money to several STEM programs, including Future Cities and a local STEM academy. We also lend time and donations to Youth Build Philly, a Philadelphia charter school whose mission is to empower young adults to develop skills and connect them to opportunities by fostering an environment of love, support, and respect. Students graduate high school and successfully transition on to college or a career as critically conscious leaders committed to positive change for themselves and their communities. Jim Clark also heads up our jobs initiative. Jim acts as a matchmaker for those looking for positions and those who are looking for new employees. At each monthly meeting, we ask those looking for employment to introduce themselves and those who have positions available to make them public. There are too many success stories to share here today, but Jim does a great job with this program. Lastly, I just want to, on behalf of the Greater Philadelphia Chapter, I just want to say thank you. The recognition for the hard work is greatly appreciated.
Wow. Steve, thanks. That was a really great acceptance video.
Hello, and good morning.
We appreciate it. Okay. International, the Best Chapter newsletter was awarded to the Alberta chapter, and unfortunately, they didn't get their acceptance video to us in time to include it today, but congratulations, well-deserved award. The Best Chapter website at a national level is the North Texas chapter.
Hi, I am Parvin Stiles, webmaster for North Texas Associations of Energy Engineers, serving Dallas, Fort Worth Metroplex. We were established in 1985 and have been growing ever since. We launched our new website in 2019 to meet the needs of our members, their ease of use, and to empower our board members with capabilities to efficiently serve members. Texas does more than just oil. Our great state tops the United States in wind power capability with 29,000 megawatts of electricity as of the end of 2019. It is showcased as a backdrop on our website. I would encourage you to take a tour of our website at ntaee.org. We are thrilled for the recognition from AEE as the Best Chapter Website National Award, and I'm honored to accept this award on behalf of our organization. Thank you.
Terrific. The international awardee for the Best Chapter website was the Greater Toronto Area Chapter, and unfortunately their video has not arrived either, but congratulations to Greater Toronto. Okay. So next we move into Best Student Chapter Support, and the Atlanta chapter is the recipient at the national level.
Hi, my name is Daryl Samlin. I'm a member of the Atlanta chapter of the Association of Energy Engineers and serve as the liaison to our student chapter at Kennesaw State University. Congratulations to 3 of our KSU students, Mr. Corey Reeves and Mr. Austin Brown, who both received AEE scholarships, and to the student chapter president, Mr. Carnell Tate, who was awarded the Al Tuman Scholarship for 2020. The KSU chapter was started in 2011 and gained significant momentum in 2016 with the help of faculty advisor, Professor Jacqueline Stevens, Atlanta chapter member, Mr. Dan Chabot, and myself. The Atlanta chapter works hard to support the KSU student chapter by attending periodic meetings, providing refreshments, and guidance to the chapter leadership. The KSU chapter continues to schedule interesting topics, great speakers, and off-campus tours for their members and guests. They truly are a strong chapter. And finally, thank you to the Association of Energy Engineers for awarding the Atlanta chapter with the National Division for Best Student Chapter Support in 2020. We're very proud of our student chapter and all their accomplishments. Thank you.
It's really hard to minimize how important that support is for student chapters, so these folks really deserve to be recognized. Internationally, the Palestine chapter is awarded for Best Student Chapter Support.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm extremely honored to be receiving such an important award, the International Best Student Chapter Support from the AEE. I am honestly grateful for the recognition I have received for our AEE chapter in Palestine. We have several challenges. We have faced several challenges, but each one of them has only strengthened us to make it is a success story through our professional team of AEE in Palestine and by daily cooperation and support of the AEE regional and the global team. Winning this award would not have been possible without the inspiration we have received from our colleagues, students, and faculty supervisors whom I have the deepest respect and from whom I have derived the strength to challenge and perform better and better at each stage and step of the AEE Palestine success path. I sincerely thank each one of you, Samer, Futuh, Belkin, and Michelle for helping us reach a stage where we can proudly hold up this award as a mark of our achievements. I also promise that you will see me personally for more such awards. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Great. So our next award category, many chapters just wind up holding their own conference, their own expositions. And on a national level, the Wisconsin chapter is awarded this year for their efforts.
Hi everyone, my name is Jerry Eaton. I am the president of the Wisconsin chapter for Association of Energy Engineers. And on behalf of all our members, we want to thank you for this great honor of Best Chapter Conference and Expo National. We look forward to putting these expos on every year. This last year we had 250 participants, 30 exhibitors, and 24 breakout training sessions. And so again, thank you for that. This year we were looking to put on our 9th expo. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. That's okay. Well, that gives us more time to plan for next year. So we'll be around next year to achieve our next award on this exact title. So again, on behalf of all our members, thank you for this great award. Thank you.
It sounded like Jerry put down a bit of a challenge there. He's already planning on winning next year. So for the rest of the chapter folks out there, let's make them work for it. Internationally, the Best Chapter Conference was awarded to the Eastern Africa chapter.
My name is Professor Da Silva. I am an engineer by profession, and my area of expertise is renewable energy. And I'm currently the president of the Association of Energy Professionals Eastern Africa. And I am here with a very specific purpose before you to thank the Association of Energy Engineers in Atlanta for their support they have been giving us for the last 6 years, since 2014, when we became a chapter of the association here in Kenya. We have trained more than 300 people in the several certifications that AEE allows us to train people here. We have a good number of Kenyan professionals who are now certified energy managers and are actually fighting for us to have an industry which is more committed to efficiency. We've been graced by the Permanent Secretary of the Minister of Energy, Engineer Dr. Joseph Njoroge. He was our chief guest. And we've been graced by a visit from Bill, who is the current Chief Executive Director of the Association of Energy Engineers in Atlanta, and also of Mary Elise Cox. I am coming to you in a very happy manner because I am here to accept an award that were given to us, to our chapter by AEE. And this award is the award of the best organized event. We organized an event based on e-mobility. More than 200 people participate in the events. And we had engineers, we had people in the government, and also we had business people. We also recall that at the end of the conference, we took a kind of an oath that all of us will support the e-mobility, and we set a target for us that in 5 years' time, by 2025, we would have 500,000 electric vehicles crisscrossing the roads of Kenya.
Awesome. Our next award is for the best chapter meeting. The Columbia River chapter out in Portland is the recipient of that award this year.
Hi, I'm Ellen Shepard, current president of the Columbia River chapter of AEE. On behalf of the board, I would like to thank National for this amazing award for Best Chapter Meeting. Our board has worked so hard over the last several years, and this award is really testament to all the value that we've brought not only to the design community, but also to our members. This award is specifically for Best Chapter Meeting for our amazing holiday party, as well as our Wrench of the Year awards. But there's many other things we do throughout the year that we'd like to tell you more about. So here to share some of that information is our current Vice President, Mike, and followed by Jacob, who will tell you a little bit more about the holiday party and Wrench of the Year awards. Again, thank you so much for this award. It really means a lot to us.
Hi, I'm Mike Christensen from Energy 350, and I'm proud to be serving as Vice President of the AEE Columbia River Chapter Board of Directors. The Columbia River Chapter covers Oregon, Southern Washington, Western Idaho, and Northern California, with roughly 90 active members. We keep our community engaged and informed through events like local building tours, our annual holiday party, and our quarterly Energy Engineering Forum. The Energy Engineering Forum is an event that was created back in 2015 as a lunch and learn style presentation geared towards energy engineers working on projects in the commercial and industrial sectors. And each quarter we invite a speaker to give a 45-minute presentation plus Q&A on topics like industrial refrigeration, M&V best practices, or emerging technology. Typically we draw 40 to 60 attendees, although since we've gone virtual in 2020, we're seeing more than twice those numbers, and chapter members receive certificates of attendance that they can put towards PDH or CEUs. So with that, I'd like to just say thank you to National for this recognition, and I'd also like to thank my fellow board members for all their hard work to make this chapter function. It really is a group effort, and I've been honored to be a part of it.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Ellen. My name is Jacob James, and I'm an engineer at Nexent and a board member at large at the Association of Energy Engineers Columbia River Chapter. The Wrench of the Year Award has been presented to awardees in our territory since 2014, and I'm honored to keep the tradition alive. With these awards, we acknowledge and celebrate the individuals that best exemplify the spirit of hard work, hands-on responsibility, and determination that it takes to build out real energy efficiency projects. This last year, our 6th, we had so many great nominations from the members in our territory that we expanded the award to include several honorable mentions. We're looking forward to expanding it even more in the years to come. Along with handing out 2 $500 awards, we were honored to toast and shake hands with our award winners at our annual year-end meeting. This last year, Alex and Troy, who traveled all the way from Idaho to join us, inspired us with their tenacious pursuit of deep energy savings despite the obstacles they faced. Now, with 2020 nearly over and the Wrench of the Year award season just beginning, we're looking forward to being even more inspired by our teams in the field. Keep up the great work, everyone.
Great, they do a good job out there. I've been out there several times doing CEM courses for them, so they're dedicated. In fact, it's the only CEM course they actually brought in a cake at the end of the course that had the CEM logo on it for everybody. So kind of interesting. So our next award goes to the best overall chapter performance. This year it is awarded to the Southern California chapter.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nolan Sembrano, the 2020 AEE SoCal, that's the Southern California chapter president. On behalf of our organization, I want to thank AEE for this award and the recognition of the work that we've put in 2019 and 2020. All of us just hope that every year we can do a little bit better to bring quality programs to our community. There are a lot of people that we would love to thank for all of this. As you all know, there's a lot of hard work that goes into putting on programs for our chapters. I want to just start with our members and attendees, everybody who has participated in coming to our programs. You've made them fun and enjoyable and educational for everybody else that attends. All of our instructors, tour guides, presenters, and speakers, anybody who has taken their time to help bring energy education to our community, we thank you. All of our organizational sponsors, you have helped make these programs more accessible to more people in our community and help to keep our organization strong. And of course, all of our volunteers, they're the backbone of everything that we do. I want to quickly just pull up a slide of our 2019 and 2020 board members. You'll see them here, but I'll read through the names. Serge has been with us for a number of years, and last year led a new microgrid class. Alice has helped out a great deal. She's our secretary this year. Rickson led our annual conference and is this year's VP. Sona has done a great deal for scholarship programs and sustainability. Michael is a great addition this year and has helped out on our annual conference and sponsorships. Abhijit, who was with us last year, helped out again on programs, as did Natalie, who's been with us the last couple of years. Jenny last year with her work on sustainability. And of course, special thanks to Cynthia Martin, who was our 2018 and 2019 president, and of course is this year's regional VP. A lot of the work that we did in 2019, of course, was led by Cynthia. John, who's been with us for a long time, always helps out on all of our programs. Dawn is our treasurer and leads our membership and student chapters as we try to grow our student chapters. Tony, who was with us last year, led the annual conference, and Nataka, who has been with us for many years and has run the certification programs, and unfortunately this year has moved out of the area. So we have to say thank you and farewell to Nataka. Of course, there are other volunteers who have helped us out. Chase, Kadakia, and Prontek, who have helped with this year's annual conference. Beatrice, others on last year's annual conference and all of our programs. And of course, Monica, who has helped us over the years. Just thank you to everybody for all the work that you put in to help us out and put on good programs and help our chapter. Lastly, thanks to AEE for your continued support of our chapter. And everybody, I wish we could have seen you in person this year, but hopefully we'll get to meet you and see you again soon. Okay, thank you, everyone.
So we have one last award to make, and it's a little bit unusual this year because at an international level, the Southern Africa chapter has won Best Chapter Community Service, Best Chapter Meeting, and Best Overall Chapter Performance. So they certainly deserve a big congratulations, and I'm sure you'll enjoy their video.
AEE International Chapter Recognition Awards for 2020 that went to the Southern African Chapter.
For Best Community Service.
For Best Chapter Meetings. For Best Chapter Overall Performance.
Congratulations, SAEC.
Thank you, AEE.
Well, that was awesome, even if it was short. So it's good to see that. I'd just like to say a few things before we close up. But I did notice we had some staff members online that we didn't introduce, and I'm probably going to miss a few. But Sharon Houston, I see you on the front screen. Unmute and just say hello to the folks. It's good for folks to get a face with the name sometimes. Where'd you go? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sharon. Nice to meet you all. Good to see you all here.
And you might say that you're Bill's executive assistant.
Yes, I am. I try to keep him in line, but it's a tough job.
I understand that. We'll keep sending checks just so you don't leave. But yeah, if you can't find Bill, Sharon will find Bill. Trust me. I also saw Danielle online. Danielle, would you come say hello?
Hello. I'm most likely going to be the person when you call. You're 99% of the time going to talk to me on the phone.
And that's a good thing. I'm sure I missed some, so don't let me do that. Who else is on the line that we forgot to give a chance to say hello to it? Denise, I see your picture. Are you live?
Hi, I'm Denise. Good to see you all. It's my first chapter meeting. I'm glad to be here.
And of course, none of these folks got any advance warning that they'd be put on the spot, so you can see they're fully prepared. No worries. I just want to give everybody a chance to catch up. Any other staff members there's like 5 slides, screens of you guys. So don't let me miss anybody. But if there's anybody I didn't call on mute, come on in. Let's give everybody a chance to say hello. And they've all gone radio. So it sounds like crickets. All right, no worries. Well, listen, I'd like to thank everybody for attending the 2020 virtual leadership conference. And actually, some of this was a lot of fun because a lot of the acceptance videos, frankly, they got more time than we would have given them live. Okay. And I note that it was attended by, at one point, I think we had about 140 people on. Is that right, Michelle? Something very close to that. So it's great to see everybody. Great to see all of our international folks. Although I'm really looking forward to seeing all the international folks live in New Orleans next year. So let's not miss that opportunity. I guess in closing, you know, we're going to get the video out, the recording out, the chat out to everybody. And Ms. Kent, you have any final words? If not, we'll wish everybody well, thank them for attending, and appreciate everybody's time.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks for everyone for attending. We miss you all. We hope to see you in person. Stay safe.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.